Hey, this is Patrick Curtis, CEO and founder of Wall Street Oasis. Today, had a great chat with Alex from Brazil. Alex went to a top target school in Brazil, but he was an engineering major and he didn't know any accounting or finance. Listen to how he was able to leverage WSO Academy to get more competitive. Listen to how his story of where he broke in to a top elite boutique, IGC, and their middle market M&A shop, and more specifically, listen to kind of how he learned so fast, and more specifically, what he did with networking once he was part of our group. Enjoy. All right, Alex, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah, it'd be
Glad to
great.
be here.
It'd be great if you could just give the listeners a short summary bio.
Okay, so my name is Alex Wever. I'm from Brazil, and I'm from a targeted school here in Brazil called Insper. And actually, I'm working on the M&A now. I work at a elite boutique here in Brazil called AGC, and I work in one of their group companies called Over Capital. And yeah, I think that's a great bio.
Awesome. Yeah. So when you started at the top school in Brazil, did you know you wanted to be in finance in general, or did you know like banking and M&A was kind of your main goal, like from the start?
Yeah, so I'm actually from computer engineering, so I didn't actually know I wanted to work with investment banking. But when I decided to make the move, it's because I have like relatives that work in investment banking and M&A. So they used to talk to me about how the day-to-day basis was. And it got me like going and keeping more interest and keen to work on that. And then I decided to work on finance. And then I entered at Bradesco Bank here in Brazil. But I entered in a developer kind of business, like programming and stuff,
Yeah.
like computer, and yeah, but I didn't like it was a lot of back office like type of stuff I was doing, so I didn't like it. I wanted something that had to do with front, like more front office type of projects. So talking to customers, talking to clients, and I used to work, and I used to like a lot Excel also. So it was something that made me keen, like to try to put myself not only like the technical skills, but also the commercial skills that I have in investment banking.
Yeah.
And that's what made me choose like to go for M&A.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you kind of had joined, you're saying you joined a bank, were doing like the engineering side, the back office, or like is it like coding and stuff like that? Is that like the direction you were going?
Yeah, so as a computer engineering kind of student, I was going to go for like a computer career. So I was like doing more part of like coding and developing stuff. Yeah, for the bank.
And so was it after that internship or after that role that you realized you wanted to be kind of more front office with the clients, or was it something like later on down the road? Because you didn't join WSO Academy until
Yeah.
24. So tell me a little bit about that progression. Like, did you make the decision before? Had you been trying? Um, yeah, I'm just curious about the path and the timeline.
Sure. So I joined Bradesco Bank for the developing career in 2023.
Hmm.
But it was after that, like doing the internship, that made me choose to go for M&A. And I started like going for M&A in the beginning of 2024.
Hmm.
So I took like uh probably like 3 months, 4 months of like myself like studying for IB. So trying to learn more about it, trying to learn how the process goes and what I needed to know about it. And then I was like connected with WSO because I used to do my research, and then WSO just popped in my screen, and I said I need to do this. This is a great program, and also I think that it is a little uh, like better than the other programs we have here in Brazil, because we actually in Brazil we have like just two programs that focus on like investment banking,
Yeah.
and they're like really not that good, like because we here in Brazil also have like IB, but it's not the same type as US or England, and it's really different. So learning from people that are like in Wall Street, and also from like directors and more senior career, senior professionals is like really better than learning from someone that's like an intern here in Brazil, you know. So that's what made me keen to join WSO, and then I joined in August, right?
Yeah.
And it like changed a lot of my view of what M&A was and what investment banking really was like to
Yeah.
work for.
And then coming from the engineering background, did you take advantage of any of the boot camps, or was it more just like talking with the head mentor? Tell me about that, because I'm sure your learning curve was very.
Yeah, it was like really different for me because the boot camps was something I have never done before. So when I started doing the boot camps, it was really great because I had like this knowledge that was being sent to me, and I had like to do it, and it was like 8 hours of like during the weekend, and also like not only just Saturday but Sundays also. So it was really amazing for me to learn. And also like I did some boot camps with Tim Well, the
Yeah, Tim.
ex-director for Barclay. And Tim is like a really great guy, and he is really good at teaching. So it was something that was really good for me, like to learn more about it. So the boot camps, I really enjoyed them, and it was something that made me like really. It was really helpful. So the modeling boot camp, and also like other the foundations boot camp was something that made me really like to learn. But the one that really helped me a lot was the internship boot camps, like for the IB interviews,
Yeah.
and it really helped a lot. Like it was really great for me to do that because I could go like through all the questions that they used to ask you, because they in Brazil they usually go like for the 400 questions, you know, like the really
Pretty standard ones. Yeah.
the pretty standard ones. So the IB like interview bootcamp was really great because like we got through all of them.
Yeah.
So I was like really prepared for the interviews I had. But also I really enjoyed talking like face to face with the mentors. So I took a lot of calls with other mentors, and it was really amazing because there are like lots of point of views and a lot of people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So like a lot of different uh backgrounds that went from IB to P firms or even like VC firms. So it was really amazing to talk to them also, because they helped me not only like with my TMA, but also like with my 7 stories. So it was really great for me like to have that and to learn from that to even like to for my interviews, to how to talk to the interviewer and how to show them that my story was connected with investment banking, and that it was not like choosing the career in investment banking just for like to choose and for the money, you know. I was choosing because I really was keen and interested to work
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really great.
Yeah, there's actual for it. Yeah, well, I think it's hard when you're coming from like when you're outside of a finance major, it's hard to communicate the why, and the teammate is really important that you make that
Yeah.
connect, right? And so you did that the other way. I think you helped brand yourself with the equity research internship with us. And tell me a little bit about what you did there. Did you do any of the reports with like Tilray or Tesla? What did you work on? Do you remember with the team there, or was it your own report?
Yeah. So for the equity research internship, we did on SoFi Technology.
So if I,
And I was actually for the valuation sector. So it was really amazing. I was going to do the team-based one, but then I decided to do like for myself.
yeah,
So I did like little like research for like, so it was really great. It really helped because I was not really like know it all how to do modeling. So it was really great for me to learn and try. Ah, it forced me like to learn for myself, and also like the courses that I had like for the WSO, the courses that it has in the platform helped me a lot to learn how to model. You know, so now like I'm working in my internship, and I'm doing more about the prospects parts, but also like when I'm talking to the execution interns or even like the analysts, I know what they're talking about. So I know what how they're modeling, I know what they're doing. So that's really great. Like I can see myself in a level that is like because I was for the WSO, I was really trained to become like an analyst.
yeah,
So here in Brazil, like I have knowledge like as an analyst, you know. So I see myself like knowing what they're talking about and knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great because I'm like ahead of myself, you know?
Yeah. And you're also kind of already ready for that role. Um,
Yeah.
and you're not just an intern right now, which sometimes takes a while for the interns to get up to speed. But that's
Yeah.
so you kind of got branded. And then talk to me a little bit about the timeline of like, okay, so you decided you wanted to go, you joined Academy, you got your resume reviewed. Did your CV change a lot when you came in with us? I assume it did. Usually when I see international CVs, they have major shifts. So talk to me a little bit about that. Was the CV like a dramatic difference? And then,
Yeah.
um, yeah, talk to me about the process of like applying to these internships and how that all played out.
Okay. So like from the beginning, we started with the CV review,
Yeah.
and I did like a grade review because my CV you have like the AI that goes through the CV to give like the grade, and my CV was like 3%. And then yeah,
Your
and
CV needed
for
a lot of help. Okay.
yeah. Because I didn't like add numbers to my CV. It was only like lines and written stuff about my goals and my career. But then when I got through the review and I talked to the mentor and I started doing the changes, it got like to 80%, 80%, and then it got like to 98%. So my CV was like 98%
Yeah.
at the end, like at the review. So it was really great because when I used to like I sent to all my follow like internships and the process I was, when the interview looked at it, it was like let me say like a Wall Street basis curriculum.
Yeah.
So they looked at it and they thought it was really great because my CV used my resume used to talk my story. So it was really great, and it really made some changes because first I used to put like my professional and then my academic stuff,
Yeah.
and it needed to change and also like to add numbers. So it was really great
Yeah.
for that part. And then after the CV, I started to think more about my stories. So the TMA, the 7 stories, that also helped a lot.
Yeah.
And it was really great because it could connect a lot of stuff from my history and my story to investment banking. So like my parents used to own a restaurant and I used to help them like in the commercial part and talking to clients. So it was something that I was able like to connect to M&A.
Yeah.
And it was really something that people enjoyed talking to me, and also about the sports I used to do, and I am keep doing it, but like soccer and also like surfing, Formula One that I liked. I used to like ride on karts and for like competitive,
Oh, really?
and it was something, yeah. So it was really great that a lot of interviews during their interviews used to ask me about that, and also like they used to do like the interview in Portuguese, right? And then for these questions, they used to do English. So it was really great because I trained in English. So talking to them in English was like really easy for me. So it was really like really great for that part also. And then it became more the part that I used to do more technical stuff because it was something that I was like um needed to do more and to learn more. So I
Yeah.
started doing the courses, the modeling courses, and also like learning about more about the statements, the financial statements.
Zoning.
Yeah, accounting.
Because
Yeah.
so then, yes, you did all that with us, and then you basically started applying at your school for these internships, for these M&A internships. What about that? Is I assume it's very competitive. I mean, you're at a target schools to go up, but it's very competitive. What about all the finance students at your school or people who are in accounting or finance? How do you compete with them? And talk to me a little bit
Mhm.
about like networking. Did you increase your networking at all after joining us, stuff like that? Because I think um,
Yeah.
I want to hear the story. I know you worked with us a lot, it approved you, but I want to hear the story. Like, so what was the timing? So you joined us. Had you started networking before you joined us, or a little bit? And talk to me a little bit about like what changed after.
Okay. So before I joined you, I did like 2 networks that I used like to take coffee chats with some like associates from investment banking. So like some bulge brackets here, like Morgan Stanley or JP. But after I joined, I started like networking a lot. So like I started sending messages on LinkedIn and also like trying to get their emails. So I was able like to even talk to a Brazilian that is working now on UBS US. And it was really amazing because I was applying for UBS Brazil and he was from here, so he like helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And also I used to do like a lot of chats during my week. So I used to do like 4 to 5 chats during like 1 week. So in month I would do like 20 to 30 chats
Amazing.
with people that worked in IB. So networking was something that I really enjoyed doing a lot.
Mhm.
And for the part about my school, yeah, to be a target school, like they usually focus on finance kids that there are in my school, like doing economics or business. And yeah, like competing with them was hard because they have like 4 years work studying that, and I had only like 1 month, 6 months with WSO,
Yeah.
and but I see that I knew what their knowledge, so I could compete with them, and also like I had a great story and a great like behavioral
Yeah.
type of training with WSO. That was a difference because these finance kids, they don't actually like know how the interviews work, so they just go for the technical parts. They don't study the behavioral parts, how to talk to the interview,
Yeah.
how to tell your story.
Yeah.
So that was something that was really different for me. So I got to a lot of final rounds, and I got a lot of also like offers, and that made me really proud of myself because it was really different from like a lot of friends that I have that are in finance at my school didn't get like to go to the final round. So
Yeah.
so I saw that I was competing with them like in a higher level.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really great.
Amazing, man. Yeah. And so I guess now I know you're at a great uh at one of the top banks there in Brazil, but you're also getting looks and bites. I know it's just an internship, so you're still kind of in the market for full time, right? And you're getting looks at
Yeah.
like elite boutiques. I know you were just texting me the other day about like, hey, I have these two elite boutiques coming after me, or like wanted to,
Yeah.
and so that's amazing. I think you're gonna end up likely at a bulge bracket or elite boutique, potentially a US based one. So pretty exciting. Yeah, talk to me about that a little bit.
Okay, so now I am at an elite boutique here in Brazil, but also in Latin America. We are the best and the top one M&A house
What's the
here
name of it again? It's a
is IGC.
IGC.
But it's like there is IGC, that is the group, and I am in a company that focus on middle market called Overhay. That is like an investment from IGC, and then we're like growing a lot. We have only like 2 years in market, and we already have like 6 deals closed. So here for Brazil is really great because we're already like competing with elite boutiques from like São Paulo and stuff.
Wow.
But but yeah, I've been like getting this invites to do interviews in other boutiques, like American boutiques, US boutiques. So yeah, it's amazing for me like to talk to them. So there are like two elite boutiques in US. There are here in Brazil. They have operations here that called me, um, and it's really great. Like because I have a lot of networking with them, so I was pretty like in doubt. So I asked you like for advice because I didn't really didn't know how to approach them and also what I needed to do like for my offer. So I have an interview next week with one of them. And I took your advice like to talk to them and change because they booked the same interview at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're elite boutiques. Like I don't know if I can say their name,
Yeah, you could say it.
but they're like, yeah. So the two boutiques that I'm like going for process is Evercore. Like here in Brazil, we have Seneca Evercore. That is one of the boutiques here that is Seneca, and they have a partnership with Evercore. So there are the Evercore operations here in Brazil,
Yeah.
and the other one is Moelis that is here in Brazil also, and it's like a great boutique also. So these two companies are like I'm going to do their process,
Exciting. Yeah, it's great.
and I'm very excited like to talk to them and to learn more about it because
You should do another
I was
with that because we have
yeah
Wallace and Evercore mentors that it could get you ready. And they're usually elite boutiques have slightly more technical.
so
They may grind you.
so for Evercore, I know who they are and I used to have like a background on them, but for Moelis I didn't know what they were and what they work on and what were like their biggest deals. So that's something I'm doing my research on. But yeah, probably I will do more mock interviews because I will probably need it because yeah, to train for this because probably the interview will be in English for them to be like US boutiques.
Right.
So yeah, and more focus on the technical parts because as you said, boutiques usually focus on a lot on technical parts
Yeah.
because yeah, for like the difference for me, like from a bulge bracket bank and a boutique, is that boutique focus on a market here in Brazil. There's like 35% of the M&As here in Brazil, so it's like a really good market for you to focus on. So that's something I've been eager to learn more about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I think your story is obviously really inspirational for anybody kind of that isn't in finance or accounting, but as a feel. Any kind of words of advice for other students that may be in a similar position to you, kind of looking back at your path and all that stuff? Any thoughts around like what helped you? And obviously, I know academy, you say academy, but like specifically like within your path, like that you thought, hey, this really helped.
Yeah. So my advice is never like for just to give an advice is never to give up because there will be times that it's difficult and you like will have to decide if you want to go to a party or you wanted to do a mock interview and get the internship.
Yeah.
So sometimes it will be hard. And for my life, like, yeah, people will tell you that working in technology is great and like developing stuff is great. But I wanted to work with M&A. So like don't let people put yourself down and tell you like you won't make it because you're not in finance and go for it. There are a lot of people here in Brazil that are engineers working in finance. So there are a lot of stories that can be interest for you to learn and more motivational. And I hope my story is motivational for people here in Brazil and also from other places in the world that have the same like background as myself, like computer and computing or engineering. But yeah, a great advice for me was like working on and having to like organize my week in what I wanted to learn. So this week I want to work on my TMA. So I used to like do all the like focus on only TMA. I wasn't going like to do TMA and the 7 stories at the same week. No, focus on TMA, make it the best, make it perfect, and then you go for the 7 stories. So like
Yeah.
trying to do this organization something that helped me a lot, and also like having like based on a planner because sometimes you will be like I'll do this after and trying to like that for other times, but do it now. You have the time. Start now. Don't let like starting a diet you left for Monday. No, do it now. Start now.
Start.
So yeah, something that made me like work on it was like trying to go over type of this type of thoughts, like
Yeah.
to start now and not to start like after.
Actually, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I think you started with us right before we launched our new student dashboard, which has like a lot more gamification. We actually are launching
Yeah.
a thing called the race soon, which is going to be a networking race where people have to show screenshots of the number of connections they have on LinkedIn. And it's like little icons of people racing to see who can get the most connections, and we're gonna have prizes for that, just to motivate people like, hey, just network work.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I entered yesterday like the WSO Academy, also like to see how it was, and I saw the dashboard and it was like, whoa, this is really different from what I had. Yeah, it was like really really interesting because I like computer stuff also. It's a hobby of mine. That's why I chose computer engineering. So it was really like to see the platform and see how you guys work and how you like handle with your students and how interest you are in the students and helping them like to reach their goals. So being able to see the better platform and how you guys invest in
You want to see,
make it work.
that's what
It's
you
amazing.
I want to see more mock interviews. I want you to be able to see the trends. I want you to see the trends. You're going to get your report cards in. So
I want to do more interviews. I think not only like for the internships, but I think like having the mock interviews, like talking to the mentors and learning more is like amazing. And yeah, I'll probably like start doing mock interviews next week.
Yeah, this turned into a mentoring session. I'm like cracking the whip. You gotta do a mentor. You gotta go do some more sessions. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you sharing that. I think hopefully it opens people's eyes of what's possible. Like if they actually just, take it seriously and do what you said around like keeping that focus, I think is a really good piece of advice because a lot of people sometimes they don't have the luxury of kind of keeping that focus. They have to do a couple things in parallel. But if you come in early enough, you actually do have that luxury of like, hey, only TMA this week, only 7 stories the next week. And it really can help you make a lot more progress instead of feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Like I truly believe it really helps like to organize.
Yeah.
So for me it was really hard also like to have the organization because I used to like do an internship at a bank. So like my hours was also complicated.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, like, if I can do it now and focus on that, and I want to work in IB, and we all know like IB is the stuff you have to do late hours and work more.
Yeah.
So it's like it was like a training for me, you know. So it was really great.
Yeah. Training of long hours.
Yeah.
Well, listen, bro, I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for sharing your story. And yeah, of course, we're here for you as you're kind of getting ready for the Elite Boutique intern. And congrats already on the amazing progress and landing that other boutique role.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It was really amazing talking to you.
Thanks.